Hello, Dr. Zimmer. We are Muesli Mills, and we are here to talk about what went wrong with our game and to tell you why you should keep us. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Katie.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Keith.
We took on this project by spending the week between the two classes developing a solid business model and a solid business strategy. We felt really confident before the game started, hoping that our strategy would work well during the game. However, round one got off to a bumpy start, and we made some mistakes that unfortunately followed us through the rest of the rounds. In the end, we had to make small changes to our business model, our business strategy, and even our governance systems to make ourselves relevant to the game again.
As a group, we decided that a specific business model would best fit our strategy and our structure for the game during the simulation. It was clear from the beginning that as a group, we wanted to build our company and function as a cohesive organization, meaning we wanted to work as a whole. We didn't want to have one person delegating tasks to other people. We wanted to be a premier cereal distribution company that provided its customers with the best product on the market. We implemented a system of checks and balances to cross-check specific decisions that needed to be made. That way one person wasn't making a decision and they needed to know that other people knew before that decision was made. We wanted to ensure that interaction within our environment, that being the cereal industry and the customers that would be purchasing products from us, allowed us to operate on a level of utmost service and product quality. On top of using the SAP system that we had, we wanted to incorporate even more IT into our process. So Jen was responsible for pulling data and information from the simulation and putting it into Excel, creating charts, pivot tables, and just outputs in general to position us in the best possible position against our competitors. In order for us to uphold this business model, we decided to focus on 3 of the 6 products. In the beginning, we chose to go with the fruits, so the strawberry, the blueberry, and the mixed fruit. And then from there, we would also provide the other 3 being original, raisin, and nut, but our focus with our marketing budget would be on the priority products. I'm going to pass this off to Keith, who focuses a little bit more on the strategy that we used during the simulation.
So, as we know, strategy is a series of choices that are made for the company to pursue different markets and opportunities. Strategies are made out of ideas, and as our original strategy coming into our game yesterday, we started out marketing really blueberry, strawberry, and mixed cereals, with our marketing plan being focused more on those areas specifically. And within the distribution channels, we used a percentage based on the sensitive of price and the marketing area and how concerned it was for that certain market. So hypermarkets, knowing those markets being not as concerned with the marketing exposure, and where grocery stores, they look at it as more of a marketing tool. So we did come in with an original plan of using percentages within the channels, and we kind of stuck with that plan. It was around 4% of our total budget, and it seemed to work out well. We kind of, like we said, we focused more on marketing on our blueberry and strawberry mix. So we kind of worked with that. And our pricing, we kept pretty good. We marked up in our channel 10 at about 10% of cost to start out. And our channel 12, we used a 20% markup. And channel 14, I think we used about 25%. And that's where we started out. Obviously, going through the simulation, we came across things that we kind of tweaked as we went, based on how competitors were going and how we were doing as well. So we kind of let the blueberry and the strawberry and the mix kind of sell themselves based on the way we had our budgeting set up, and we focused more on the original and the nut and the Raisin, yeah. So we focused more on that, and the way it turned out is that we ended up purchasing raw material more to produce more of that. So it kind of worked out well that way. In our strategy, which we didn't have part of our strategy, we introduced a capacity expenditure, which increased our capacity of production by 2,000 units per day, which cost us about $500,000. So part of that is was our strategy to increase production, but it didn't work the way I thought it would work with the simulation. So the knowledge of the way SAP works and the way the simulation was set up, it kind of threw us for a loop on that strategy. But it is what it is, and we kind of worked with it, and we went forward. So now I'm going to take Gabby, and she's going to come in and talk about our governance structure.
So, when first looking at the governance roles, Keith was the purchasing manager, Jen was in charge of analytics and sales performance of competitors, Katie was in charge of marketing, and I was in charge of pricing. However, we realized we then needed a production manager. Katie would take on that role because marketing and pricing could be given to the same person due to their relevance. We chose these roles based on the first class and what people were comfortable with. Keith was familiar with how to purchase and studied videos and charts given to us prior to the second class. I was in charge of pricing for the first class, so that carried on. Jen was extremely familiar with how to pull up computers' averages on Excel and was able to analyze their performance, while Katie was in charge of being the production manager because she understood what needed to be produced so that her and Keith would communicate. For the final game, we sat in order that would be beneficial for all of us. Jen and I sat next to one another so that she could let me know how prices were holding up compared to the averages of our competitors. And Katie sat next to Keith so they could communicate on what to purchase in order to make. We found this extremely beneficial because we each had our own person to go to and then came together towards the end. Having thought through everyone's designated roles, it gave us the ability to stay on top of one another and to create a form of checks and balances or a hierarchy as said in Applegate. Now looking at our team results, after breaking it down, all of our cereal boxes were 1 kilogram. So for blueberry, we sold $549,000 worth. Mixed fruit, $626,000. Nut, just over $1 million. Original, just over $2 million. Raisin, $2.2 million. And strawberry, $543,000. We ended with a total sales of $6.4 million as shown in this graph. And to calculate our profit, we ended with a total of $309,000. Now I will be passing it over to Jen, who will be discussing the future of muesli mills.
By the end of the game, we felt like we were gaining ground. We felt much more comfortable with how the system worked. We felt more comfortable making changes in SAP. And by adapting the business model, changing the strategy, and juggling the governance structure, we obtained positive results. If the game were to continue, we would continue adapting to the minute changes that are required in this game. This includes competition from other teams and changes in price of the raw materials. In terms of business strategy, we would change the strategy to include distribution channel 14. So we would need to start producing the 1/2 kilogram size boxes, but we would continue with the original raisin and nut varieties only. We'd also increase our marketing due to this new channel because they are a little bit more receptive to marketing. Overall, we would make few immediate changes moving forward. Throughout the game, we made adaptations to our structure, to our governance structure, to our business model, and this helped us to increase our profit at the end of the game. More changes would be needed to maximize our profit and to also maximize shareholder equity. As a team, we felt that the first round went poorly, but the second and third round went much better for us. If we continued playing, we foresee our team performing much better. we do hope that you will consider Muesli Mills for your cereal purchasing needs.
Thank you.